Hello. Just a moment. Hello. Oh, just. That was weird. Sorry, I just had a weird audio issue there. Gonna be trying to teach myself to code Python and code in general. I've never really coded or programmed anything for real in my life, but I've watched plenty of videos and done a bunch of tutorials, but the last time I really watched any kind of tutorial was months ago. I tried using Free Code Camp. There was a legacy course, like an outdated course called Python for Everybody. It was pretty good, but I understood maybe half of it or less than that. And I also tried using Brilliant.org. They have a programming and computer science course, and I understood maybe half of that. So that's basically all of my experience with this, but now I'm on learnpython.org to try and refresh myself here. I'm gonna try my best. The site's loaded with ads, because I guess that's what makes it free, which is cool. So, but sorry if it's a bit of an eyesore, and sorry if I'm quiet. Also, I have the gain on my mic almost all the way down, just so that you can't hear my computer or my fan. Yeah. Right now it is currently 2 a.m. for me. I should be going to bed soon, so I don't think I'm gonna be streaming this for too long or recording. And I guess it's February 19th, 2026. That's a good time to start. As good a time as any. Let's see. Yeah, I don't plan on doing this for super long today. I'm recording this also, so since I'm talking to nobody, essentially, there's somebody out there listening, hopefully. Let's see. Interactive Python. Yeah, we're just gonna start with some hello world stuff. Alright. A very simple language has a very straightforward syntax. Boilerplate. Encourages programmers to program without boilerplate code. I guess that's a good thing. Maybe. Okay, this tutorial uses Python 3 because it's more semantically correct and supports newer features. Fantastic. So it says to print a string in Python 3, just write print. This line will be printed. Neat. Alright. I mean, this is all just review, I guess. But, you know, you can never have too much review. X equals 1 if x equals 1. Print x is 1. Alright, so far so good. Use the print function to do hello world. Oh. Okay, so this, we just have to change that really quick. Hello world, submit. Great job. Awesome. Okay, next tutorial. Variables and types. Honestly, if this tutorial doesn't turn out too great, I think I might go back to freecodecamp.org, but I want to give this one a shot, and when I have basically no one watching, it's probably the best time to be using this website with all these ads. object-oriented and not statically typed. You do not need to declare variables before using them, or declare their type. Every variable in Python is an object. I kind of know what that means, but I don't really... A lot of the stuff is comparing Python to other languages, which I don't know. Integers, whole numbers, and floating point numbers, decimals, and some complex numbers which will not be explained in this tutorial. Fantastic. To define an integer, use the following syntax. I think it means the syntax is just like a number. To define a floating point number, you may use one of the following notations. My float, so 7.0 is a float. But I don't fully understand that. My float equals 7.0, print my float. My float equals float 7. Oh, okay, this converts, that's an integer right now, and then this float thing makes it 7.0. Okay. Alright, strings are defined either with a single quote or double quotes. Okay, cool. Yeah, so far, so good. We're doing swell. The difference between the two is that using double quotes makes it easy to include apostrophes. Don't worry. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. So that way we can... Yeah, if this was a... Actually, I'm going to do that really quick. If those were single quotes... Yeah, that just breaks the whole thing. Okay, cool. There are additional variations on defining strings that make it easier to include things. Carriage returns, backslashes, and Unicode characters. But they're covered in the Python documentation. Simple operators can be executed on numbers and strings. 1, 2, 3 equals 1 plus 2. Okay, yeah. And this is variable stuff. Oh wait, is that what this is about? Variables and types. Hello world. Hello plus a space plus world. Okay, I'm guessing if I get rid of this, it'll just say hello world put together. Ah, okay, yeah. Cool. See, this is pretty cool because it gives you the tutorial right here and you can just run it to see what it does, but you can toy around with it as you like. So far, I do like this site. I like interactive tutorials. You know, videos are great and all, but yeah. When I watched those videos, I didn't really do any of the... I didn't really do any coding alongside the videos, so I feel like I hindered my learning a bit. Assignments can be done on more than one variable simultaneously on the same line. A comma b equals 3 comma 4. Okay, wait, so if I say just print A, and then let's just to C print B. Okay, so that specifically assigns 3 to A and 4 to B. Mixing operators between numbers and strings is not supported. This will not work. Alright. 1 plus 2 plus hello. Okay. But if we go like that, and say print hello, this one will work. Okay, 3 and hello. Oh, so if you add variables, it just straight up adds them if they're integers or... Okay, exercise. Your target of this exercise is to create a string, an integer, and a floating point number. The string should be named myString and should contain the word hello. Floating point should be called myFloat and contain the number 10.0. An integer should be named myInt and should contain the number 20. So change this. Alright, so the string myString should contain the word hello. Alright, if it can be anything with the word hello, then... Nope, okay, that's a little strange. Yeah, so this editor takes a lot of liberties. It does a lot of stuff on its own. I guess I can just type in hello. Let's... Hello world. Just cause. It's more fun that way. Alright, my float 10.0, my int should contain the number 20. I guess I don't know exactly what it means by contain. So maybe it means specifically just the word hello. So, let's just not submit. Great job. Alright. I guess that's right. Oh, I see. So this is if my string equals hello, print. I guess I'll understand this stuff later. I kind of remember stuff about these like percentage signs, but not exactly. Okay. Next tutorial. Yeah. Honestly, let's see. Lists, basic operators, string formatting, basic string operations. I think I should be able to easily knock out a lot of this stuff up until, like, I don't know. I'm not so sure about classes and objects and functions. I don't know if I remember a lot of this stuff. Once we get to dictionaries, modules, and packages, list comprehensions, generators, I don't know what any of that is. Okay, lists are very similar to arrays. I don't know what an array is, so that, I don't know, that doesn't seem like very useful information to me. They can contain any type of variable. I'll just try to remember stuff like that for later. Lists are very similar to arrays. They contain any type of variable and can contain as many variables as you wish. Lists can also be iterated over in a very simple manner. I remember iterating things, because it's basically like a for loop, but it does it a certain amount of times and keeps moving through different variables. But that stuff kind of confused me. Here's an example of how to build a list. My list. So you can create a list just by, like, literally just using empty brackets. And then this is the append function, or it's a method. One of them, either a method is a kind of function or a function is a type of method. I don't quite remember. Print my list. Prints 1. Okay. For x in my list, print x. Okay, so these three are made by, this part makes the, oh, whoops, jeez. Okay, that makes these first three, but then this one says for x in my list, print x. So that iterates through the variables in my list, and then just prints them out. And then there's that indenting there, 4 spaces, but you can just use tab, I guess. But pressing tab makes 4 spaces in Python code editors. Accessing an index which does not exist generates an exception, an error. So my list equals 1, 2, 3, print my list 10. Okay, yeah, it generates an error. If I remember correctly, though, lists, they're like sub-zero. They start at 0, so if I say print my list 0, it should print the 1, because that's the first thing in the list. Yeah, okay. Whereas if I say 2, it'll print the third thing. Okay, yeah. Just to be sure. Just checking. In this exercise, we'll add odd numbers and strings to the correct list using the append list method. Okay, so it's a method. You must add the numbers 1, 2, and 3 to the numbers list, and the words hello and world to the string variable. You also have to fill the variable second name with the second name and the name using the brackets operator. So brackets are an operator. I think operators are also what they call like plus and minus and asterisk, which is how you multiply and stuff like that. I think you use the percentage sign to do like modulo, so you can get the remainder of things. Note that the index is 0 based. Okay, yeah, that was that thing we were talking about earlier. So if you want access to the second item on the list, its index will be 1. Okay, numbers. Wait, so what are we doing? Add numbers 1, 2, and 3 to the numbers list, and the words hello and world to the strings variable. Wait, what? How come you must add numbers 1, 2, and 3 to the numbers list? This part, it's calling the numbers list, and the words hello and world to the strings variable. It's calling this part, this is a variable. Maybe a list is a type of variable. You all have to fill in the variable's second name with the names in the names list using the brackets operator. Note that okay. Write your code here. Okay, so this part I don't change, I guess. This code should write out the filled arrays and the second name in the names list. I don't believe they've mentioned here yet though, but these pound signs are how you put comments in, and they don't do anything in the code. But that's just Python 101. Okay, so what am I supposed to be printing out? Okay. The second name on the names list is second name. Okay. This code should write out the filled arrays and the second name in the names list. Eric. Alright. I am not fully comprehending this. You must add the numbers 1, 2, and 3 to the numbers list and the words hello and world to the strings variable. Okay, so what did we do earlier with this append thing? mylist.append 1. So if I say numbers.append 1, it'll put that there in the list. And then the strings, if I say strings.append, it'll put hello and world. I sure hope so. I don't exactly see where I'm supposed to be writing. It says write your code here, but... Alright, I'm gonna just literally write it there. Alright, okay. Oh wait, what am I doing? Numbers dot append 1. I'm gonna see if maybe I can say 2, 3. Oh, whoops, that's not a 3. If I can't, I'll just fix all that. Okay, and then strings dot append. Oops, append. Hello world. Oh wait. I guess they would have to be in quotes. I think. I don't exactly know. We're just gonna hope that works. Second name. You also have to fill in the variable second name with the second name in the names list using the bracket operator. Note that the index is 0 based. Okay, I don't... How did that work exactly? Wait, did it say fill in the variable second name? So maybe I should do names 1. I mean, it kind of spells it out for you, I guess. Its index will be 1. Okay, so the do equals names. Oh. 1. Alright. Let's see. Make sure you printed the numbers list. Oh. Wait, numbers. Okay, I messed everything up here. Trace back, most recent, call last. Line 5, okay. Append takes exactly 1 argument, 3 given. Hey, that's pretty informative. That told me exactly what I did wrong. Okay, so let's say numbers dot append. Oops, that's not how you spell append. 2. Oh, great. So I have to, okay. I'm gonna have to move my cursor over to the right every time. Oops, that's not right. Append. I gotta work on my typing speed also, kinda on the side. That'll make things a lot easier. Okay, so maybe it'll give me another strings append. Append takes exactly 1 argument, 2 given. Okay, perfect. Alright. Hello. Strings dot append world. Awesome. We're doing great. Things are coming along smoothly. Submit. Okay. Sweet. Alright. So all I did wrong was experiment with the commas here. Append just does one thing. And I guess what you put inside the method is called an argument. Which, that's good review, because I did not remember that exactly. Next tutorial. Cool. We're doing great. We are doing swell. I'm feeling grand. This section explains how to use basic operators, arithmetic operators, just as any other addition, subtraction, multiplication, division can be used with numbers. 1 plus 2 times 3 divided by 4. I wonder what that will... Because normally it's... Would it do 2 times 3? I'm trying to remember my PEMDAS. Multiplication and division. Yeah, so it would be 2 times 3 first, and then divided by 4. So it'd be 6 fourths. Be 3 halves. Plus 1. I don't know. Oh yeah, 3 halves plus 1. That's 2.5. Okay. 3 halves is 1.5, right? Try to predict what the answer will be. Oh, yeah. I almost got it and then just gave up when I was one step away. And another operator is the modulo operator, which returns the integer remainder of the division. Dividend modulo divisor equals remainder. So 11, this would be 11 divided by 3, which would be, the remainder would be 2. Yeah, okay. If I remember correctly, this is useful for determining whether a number is even or odd. Because you can be like modulo 2, or if variable modulo 2 is equal to 0, then it's even, but if it's not equal to 0, then it's odd. Using 2 multiplication symbols makes a power relationship? Oh, squared. Okay, so that's 7 squared, and that's 2 cubed. Which would be 49 and 12? No, not 12. Dang. Okay, we're in for a rough ride here, I guess. Yeah, 2 times 2 is 4 times... Okay, I was thinking, like... I don't know how I screwed that one up. Python supports concatenating strings using the addition operator. Great. Oh yeah, see, it adds the space right there. We get rid of that. Okay. Python also supports multiplying strings to form a string with a repeating sequence. So, oh, hello times 10. I wonder if they'll have spaces in between. They do not. That's interesting. I wonder if that'll come in useful at any point. Using operators with lists. A list can be joined with the addition operators. Odd numbers plus even numbers. Does it do them in order though? So it'll say 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. I wonder if we switch them around, it probably will do it the other way, right? Oops. Jeez. Okay. Odd. What am I doing? Odd numbers. Okay, so you can hit tab to autocomplete, basically. Okay, yeah, flips them around. Just as in strings, Python supports forming new lists with repeating sequences using the multiplication. So it'll say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay. What's our exercise? The target of this exercise is to create 2 lists called X list and Y list, which contain 10 instances of the variables X and Y respectively. You are also required to create a list called BigList, which contains the variables x and y 10 times each by concatenating the two lists you have created. Alright, what to do? Change this code. So I don't change this part. X equals object, y equals object. BigList. Okay, so I guess all of this is the part that I'm not supposed to touch. This part, okay. X list, and they have 10 instances of the variables x and y. I mean, these lists are created, x list and y list. They're supposed to contain 10 instances of x and y, respectively. You are also required to create a list called BigList, which contains the variables x and y 10 times each by concatenating the two lists you have created. So, I mean, does that mean I just multiply? Because if I just tell it to do times 10, oh wait, x list equals x times. Alright, I mean, I'll just try it. It couldn't hurt. Times 10, oops. Times 10. And then BigList has the variables x and y 10 times each by concatenating the two lists you've created. So what I don't know if, like, if I'm concatenating the two lists, would I write the variables in between the brackets? That something about that just doesn't seem right. I mean, I'll try it, but I don't think this is the way to do it. Okay, X list. What am I? Plus y. Oh, jeez. List. Okay. Here goes nothing. You correctly define the variable BigList. Running the expression len BigList didn't generate the expected result. Okay. X list contains 10 objects, Y list contains 10 objects, Big list contains 1 object. Okay, so I guess I did do that first part right. I mean, maybe I'll just remove the brackets. I feel like it'll do it correctly. Oh, okay. Contains 20. Really? I just had to remove. How odd. Okay. I guess that was the point. I was supposed to realize that the brackets needed to be removed. Alright, what's next? String formatting. Python uses C-style string formatting to create new formatted strings. The percentage operator is used to format a set of variables enclosed in a tuple, a fixed-sized list. Yeah, tuples are immutable. I remember that. They apparently take less data than a list. Together with a format string, which contains normal text together with argument specifiers, special symbols like %s and %d. Together with a format string. Okay. Okay, alright. I guess that's called this is a format string. One thing I've realized is it's kind of hard to get the terminology down. I mean, they tell you the terminology right away because they kind of have to, but you can't really understand what the terminology is until you understand the concept itself, and then you can kind of attach a name to it mentally. So I guess this together with a format string. That'll make sense later, I hope. Yeah, so I guess this is called a format string because it has this argument specifier. Or maybe this whole thing is a format string. This part in the quotes is a string, and then with this, it's a format string. I don't know. I'll learn eventually. Let's say you have a variable called name with your username in it, and you would like to print out a greeting to that user. This prints out hello John, name John, hello, comma. I mean that, okay. Use 2 or more argument specifiers with a tuple. Okay, so %s is %d years old. And then you say %name, comma, age. Okay. So, does that just mean, can you put specifically 2 of these? An S and a D? Okay. Any object which is not a string can be formatted using the %s operator as well. The string which returns from the repr method, the REPR method of that object is formatted as a string. For example, this prints out the list 1, 2, 3, my list 1, 2, 3, a list colon %s %my list. Okay. The string which returns from the REPR method of that object is formatted as the string. So basically, what it printed out is like in the form of a string. I don't know. The REPR method. This is all just stuff I'll hopefully figure out eventually. Alright. Basic argument specifiers. %s is a string or any object with a string representation like numbers. So numbers are generally an integer, but if you like put them in quotes or in this case use this %s thing, then they become a string with characters which are numbers. %d is integers. Oh, okay. That makes sense now. So age equals 23. This is not a string. It's an integer, but then it's basically used like a string in this string. %f is floating point numbers. Why is D? Like S for string makes sense and an F for float makes sense. I don't get why a D is integer. Because it's also not like an N for numbers or anything. Okay. %dot number of digits F. Floating point numbers with a fixed amount of digits to the right of the dot. Okay. I think I kind of get what that means. %x/%X. Does that mean I can use either one? Oh, okay. Lowercase, uppercase. Integers in hex representation? Alright, I'm just gonna figure that out later. Okay, you'll need to write a format string which prints out the data of the following syntax. Hello, John Doe, your current balance is 53.44. Okay. Format string is hello. Data is John Doe. So, okay, well, what would this print normally? So this would print format string, and then would you say %data? So I guess hello. I mean, I don't understand. I would do %s. Hello %s. But will that do both John and Doe? Okay, well, I'll just try this. Hello %s period. Your current balance is... Okay, so I would do $sign and then percent F. F for float. Okay. Alright, I'll give it a shot. Did you correctly define the variable format string? Expected. What? So I have to do 2% S's? Oh, okay, wait. So your current balance is 53.44. Okay, so I guess I should do, what was it earlier? Percent, what did it say? Where was it? Percent dot number of digits F. Okay, so percent 2F. That didn't... Okay. This just says to do percent %s again. Wait, so will this third piece of data just... If I do percent %s again, it'll just turn into part of the string? Okay. So you just do percent %s, and percent %s again. I mean, that's a pretty good way to demonstrate it. Hello, John Doe. Your current balance is 53.44. Man, John Doe is rolling in it. He's a big baller. Alright, next tutorial. Basic string operations. Strings are bits of text that can be defined as anything between quotes. Okay. I don't think this will print anything because it doesn't say print. Okay, yeah, it just does nothing. As you can see, the first thing you learned was printing a simple sentence. This sentence was stored by Python as a string. However, instead of immediately printing strings out, we will explore the various things you can do to them. You can also use single quotes to assign a string. However, you will face problems if the value assigned contains single quotes. Single quotes are... Okay, so it just makes it part of the string, even with spaces in between. And then print the length of a string is 12. Well, wait, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I know that seems obvious, but they pull some weird stuff in these programming languages pretty often. That prints out 12 because hello world is 12 characters long, including punctuation and spaces. Just wanted to make sure it didn't like start at 0 or something. Print a string index O. Index O. Oh, so that'll probably say, since it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll probably say 4 or something like that. 4, yeah, okay. That prints out 4 because the location of the first, okay, I guess it says it right here. The location of the first occurrence of the letter O is 4 characters away from the first character. Notice how there are actually 2 O's in the phrase. This method only recognizes the first. And also, it starts from 0 again. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But why didn't it print out 5? Isn't the O the 5th character in the string? To make things more simple, Python and most other programming languages. Okay. Start things at 0 instead of 1, so the index of O is 4. I wonder which languages don't do that. And I wonder how much confusion that actually causes. Like, is that actually a problem? Who knows? For those of you using silly fonts, that is a lowercase l, not a number 1. This counts as a number of L's in the string, therefore it should print 3. Okay, a string dot count. So this is another method. And this here is the argument in the method. Okay. Hello world, print a string 3 to 7. So this So 0, 1, 2, 3. It'll start with L. But if I remember correctly, it won't include the 7. So it'll go 3, it'll go L. And then 4 is O, 5 is space, 6 is W, 7 is O. So it won't include the O. Hello, yeah, low. It doesn't stops before the O. This prints a slice of the string starting at index 3 and ending at index 6. But why 6 and not 7? Why 6 and not 7? Again, most programming languages do this. It makes doing math inside those brackets easier. I mean, I hope that's true. I'll take your word for it. I can't imagine why. If you have one number in the brackets, it will give you the single character at that index. I don't know. If you have just one number, if you just have one number in the brackets, it will give you a single character at that index. If you leave out the first number but keep the colon, it will give you a slice from the start of the number you left in. Wait, okay, if you leave out the first number but keep the colon, it will give you a slice from the start of the number you left in. If you leave out the second number, it will give you a slice from the first number to the end. Oh, okay. Yeah, so basically, if I take out this 7, it'll just start from the L and go onward. And if I put the 7 back and get rid of this 3, it will just do everything up until the W. Yeah, okay. Okay. That is difficult to explain in words or understand when explained in words, but it just makes perfect sense. I really like these little interactive things. They're great. Can even put negative numbers inside the brackets. They're an easy way at starting at the end of the string instead of the beginning. This way, -3 means third character from the end. Let's give it a shot. Okay, maybe that just didn't make sense. Okay. Okay, so that way it does exclamation point D and L, the last 3 things. What if I do it at the other side? -3. Okay, cool. So that way it goes up until the -3. Wait, so that would be the exact same thing as if I did like 9. Oops, that's not a 9. Okay. Alright. This prints the characters of string 3 to 7, skipping 1 character. This is an extended slice syntax. The general form is start, stop, step. Oh, so 2 step. So that means it'll go from 3 to 7, but every other letter? Oh, no. Okay, I guess I don't understand that at all. A string, so starts at 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, so L. And then 2, 7, so O space W, but it skips. I don't understand that. So these produce the same output because it's skipping 1 step, but if I switch it to 2, it just skips everything. Alright, well, hopefully my not understanding that won't make an enormous difference. There's no function like strev in C to reverse a string, but with the above mentioned type of slice syntax, you could easily reverse a string like this. Oh, okay. So if you leave the first 2 blank and then do -1, it'll just reprint the entire thing backwards. Alright. This. It just says this. String hello world. Print upper, print lower. Okay, that capitalizes everything, that lowercase is everything. These make a new string with all letters converted to uppercase and lowercase, respectively. A string starts with hello. Ends with as if. This is used to determine whether the string starts with something or ends with something, respectively. The first one will print true as it starts with hello. Those are called booleans, if it says true or false. The second one will print false as the string does not end with as div, as div, as div. Okay, so this whole thing just translates to true. So when you say print this, it just says true. Oops, keep moving that. Okay. You know, I also don't, from what I understand, trying to memorize all of this stuff isn't all that effective. You need to, like, make projects or something. You gotta build things, and then it all starts solidifying itself in your head. This is used to determine whether the string starts with something or ends with something, respectively. So if I don't end up using any of this stuff, I'm never going to remember it. But then anything that does turn out to be useful, I'll definitely end up remembering. This splits the string into a bunch of strings grouped together in a list. Since this example splits out a space, the first item in the list will be hello and the second will be world. Wait, so this is a string dot split at a space, specifically. Oh, this example splits at a space. Okay, so it does. So I would have to personally say print AFEW words. Yeah, okay. And it'll just print out my list, hello world, with an explanation. Exercise. Try to fix the code to print out the correct information by changing the string. Hey there, what should the string be? Length should be 20. Print length of s equals... Wait, is the length of this isn't 20. Try to fix the code to print out the correct information by changing the string. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I should get rid of this entire rest of it. First occurrence of A should be at index 8. Oh boy. Okay, so 0, so this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so it should be here. So, wait, okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm just gonna put in A here, I guess. Hey, Sarah. Number of A's should be 2. It looks like, yeah, there's only 2 A's. Alright, and then what? Length should be 20, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, and then the rest of this we will just get rid of. Okay, length should be 20. First occurrence of A should be at index 8. Got it. Number of A's should be 2. Yes. Slicing the string in a bit. The first 5 characters are that. Start to 5. The next 5 characters are that. 13th character is 12. Convert everything to upper. So it just says changing the string, so it'll fix the code by correct. So I don't know if I actually need to change anything else for this. The rest of this is just if ends with ome. Wait, so it has to end with, starts with, oh, good grief. Okay, so this has to start with str. Okay. Just gonna replace the first three characters with str. Oh, whoops. dr. Okay. Convert everything upward. Check out the strings. And it ends with ome. Alright. Oh, ome explanation. Okay. Oh wait, crud, did I just mess up the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. I have to get rid of this S. How tedious. Oh wait, but now there has to be, oh wait, never mind. Okay, you know what? I think this is done. What? Make sure you change the string assigned to S to match the exercise. What part did I miss? String starts with str. Good. String ends with ome. Good. Split the words of the string str. What? The first occurrence of the letter A equals 8. Should be at index 8. Yeah, okay, that part's right. Length should be 20. Length of S equals 20. The first 5 characters are... Start to 5. Number of A's should be 2. A occurs 2 times. Doesn't look like I did anything wrong. Everything looks fine. Split the string into 3 separate strings, each containing only a word. Oh wait, 3 separate strings. Oh crud. So it comes out to 1, 2, 3, 4 separate words. Well, does that mean I just have to... I guess I'll just take this and replace it with like some random letter. Z. I don't understand. Split the string into 3 separate strings, which that happened. It ends with ome explanation point. It starts with str. Alright, as far as I'm concerned, I did this correctly. Let's check this solution. Oh, it's supposed to say strings are awesome? But what... This... I mean, this is exactly the same. It just said I didn't succeed because I didn't type in strings are awesome. I'm pretty sure that's the only thing I did wrong. I was supposed to specifically say strings are awesome. I really can't. It doesn't seem to me like anything else was incorrect. Really, they only indicated that I had to do these specific things, which I did. Was I supposed to just take all of these weird hints and just intuitively figure out that I was supposed to type in strings are awesome? I think I did this right. I think I did this right. I'm just, whatever. That is the silliest exercise I've ever done. Conditions. Alright. It's like 3 a.m. I should go to bed pretty soon. I'm gonna keep going because I'm not exactly tired yet or bored, so although I'm gonna look at my stream stuff real quick and make sure I didn't mess anything up. Everything looks right. Oh yeah, it says I've been streaming 55 minutes. Neat. My average stream bitrate is unstable. My bitrate's a bit too high. Okay. I don't know what to do about that. Python uses Boolean logic to evaluate conditions. The Boolean values true and false are returned when an expression is compared or evaluated. For instance, x equals 2. Print x, 2 equals... Yeah, because 1 equals is how you, like, set variables, whereas 2 is how you actually do the operator. Or I don't know if that's called an operator, but, that's how you check. So that prints out true, that prints out false. X is less than 3 prints out true. Notice that variables... Okay, see, I keep doing that. Notice that variable assignment is done using single equals operator, whereas comparison between the two variables is done using the double equals operator. Okay, it is called an operator. The not equals operator is marked as explanation point equals. Okay, I guess that'll be important to remember. Actually, I wonder, is my mouse even visible? I'll figure that out later. Okay, the and or Boolean operators allow building complex Boolean expressions. If name is John and age is 23, print your name is John and you're also 23 years old. If name equals John or name equals Rick, your name is either John or Rick. Alright, that's good. The in operator can be used to check if a specified object exists within an iterable object container such as a list. Name equals John. If name in John and Rick, your name is either John or Rick. Man, these are the kind of programs I dream of building. A program that tells you that your name is either John or Rick. Session busy. Why? Your name is either John or Rick. Alright. Python uses indentation to define code blocks instead of brackets. Okay, I'm assuming that means other programming languages use brackets. Maybe like curly brackets or something. The standard Python indentation is 4 spaces, although tabs and any other space size will work as long as it is consistent. Code blocks do not need any termination. Notice that code blocks do not need any termination. I'm beginning to think, even though this is a pretty beginner-friendly site, it's also sort of also throwing in information that would be useful if you did know how to program but didn't know Python. So it's comparing Python to other languages. I've never really used other languages except a little bit of C, but I didn't get too deep into C. Here's an example for using Python if statements using code blocks. Statement equals false, another statement equals true. If statement is true, which is not, do something. Pass. If another statement is true, else if, do something else. Pass, else, do another thing. What is this gonna print out? Statement equals false, another statement equals true. If statement is true. Okay, so statement isn't true, but another statement is true. I'm glad it color codes all of this. This would be extremely confusing if not. Oh right, it doesn't do anything. It just says to pass. I don't know exactly what pass does. Okay. X equals 2. If x equals 2. X assigning 2 to x. If x is 2. Print x equals 2, else x does not equal 2. Okay. Statement is evaluated as true if one of the following is correct. The true Boolean variable is given or calculated using an expression such as an arithmetic comparison. An object which is not considered empty is passed. Okay. The true Boolean variable is given or calculated using expressions such as an arithmetic comparison. I think that's what this means. X equals 2. Oh wait, a statement is valued as true if one of the following is correct. So either it literally says true, like with these things, or if it's calculated using an expression, an arithmetic comparison, or 2, when an object is not considered an object which is not considered empty is passed. An object which is not considered empty. I don't yet know exactly what objects are, and I don't know what would be considered empty. Oh, okay, so just any object not considered quote-unquote empty means it evaluates as true. That will make sense to me later, I hope. Here are some examples for objects which are considered as empty. An empty string, okay, just quote. What if it has a space? An empty list. The number 0. The false Boolean variable false. Okay. But then that's not... okay, I don't know. I guess that would be empty then. Okay, the is operator. Unlike the double equals operator, equals, the is operator does not match the values of the variables, but the instances themselves. For instance, okay, so x equals 1, 2, 3, and y equals 1, 2, 3. So if you compare whether or not they're equal, that's true because they're the same. But if you compare whether or not they are literally the same thing, that's false because they're two different lists. I like this website. It's a good, I mean, it's got all these ads. It's kind of not great to look at, but I mean, it's free and it's interactive, and I think maybe it's because I already studied a lot of this stuff, but I feel like it's doing well. It's demonstrating things pretty well. Using not before a Boolean expression inverts it. Print not false, prints true. Not false equals false, prints out false. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Change the variables in the first section so that if each if statement resolves as true. Resolves as true. So I change all the variables here. Okay, if number is greater than 15, print 2. If first array. Oh, I see. If first array, because this first array is empty, it'll count as false, so it won't print out 2. So I just need this to not be empty. I'll put a 1. I bet you if I put 0, it wouldn't work, but I'm not sure. Okay. Number equals 10. If number is greater than 15, print 1. So that will have to be 16. And I think greater than does not necessarily mean equal to or greater than. So if I did 15, it probably wouldn't work. So it has to be specifically greater than. So 16, first array is not empty anymore, so that'll print 2. If the length of the second array equals exactly 2, so the length is currently 3, so we'll do that. So that will print 3. If the length of the first array plus the length of the second array equals 5. So, okay, so they have to equal, okay, so this one will be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, okay. So the length will be 5 then, that'll print 4. If first array and first array okay, wait. If first array and first array at index 0 is 1, print 5. Well, this, okay, so it is index 0, or index 0 equals 1, but what does it mean if first array and... Oh, okay, wait, so this is like this part, if first array, that just literally means, is it empty? Like, if first array, I'm assuming means it false if it's empty, true if it isn't. So this means since it's not empty and the index 0 item is 1, this will print 5. I hope. So far we're printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If not second number, print 6. If not. So maybe second number has to be empty? If not second number. Maybe 0 counts as empty, so this should work. It should print out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, awesome. I'm going to check the solution to see what they did. Oh, that's the solution. I did it exactly right. Awesome. Okay, things are going great so far. Now we're going to do loops. There are 2 types of loops in Python, for and while. How long is this? Okay, yeah, I can do this one. Wait, what's after loops? Let's see. So we're at loops. Next is functions, classes and objects, dictionaries, modules and packages, input and output generators. And I'm still not tired, and I'm still pretty motivated, but I should sleep soon. I'll at least do loops before we call it. 2 types of loops on Python, for and while. Loops iterate over a given sequence. Here's an example. Two, 3, 5, 7, 4 prime in primes, print prime. So I think the in part like uses something that actually exists, but then the for prime part, that kind of just like invents a variable out of nowhere. Like the word prime doesn't exist previously, and then you say print prime and it'll probably print 2, then 3, then 5, then 7. Yeah, okay. For loops iterate over a sequence of numbers using the range and x range functors. This part confused me a lot for the longest time, but I think I kind of get it now. Iterating is when it like does this, then that, then that. Using the range and x range functions. X range. Okay. The difference between range and x range is that the range function returns a new list with numbers of that specified range, whereas x range returns an iterator, which is more efficient. Python 3 uses the range function, which acts like x range. Okay, so we're not even going to be using... okay. Yeah, it's important to read all of this so that you can kind of get the terminology down, but there's no way any of this makes sense until after you see a bunch of examples. I sure like being able to express my frustration with this. It's kind of helping me learn to be able to just talk into the mic about how I feel about all this. Prints out the number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for x in range 5, print x. So this is 5 things starting with 0. So that'll print out... Oh, wait, that's telling me what it'll print out. Okay, so if you just say 4x in range 5, it will just straight up basically print out 0 to 4. This 4x in range 3, 6 will print out 3, 4, 5. So it's kind of like earlier with the lists. It basically just like invents a list that'll start with 3 and then end right before 6. 4x in range 3, 8, 2. So if this is like the list from earlier, then it basically goes from 3 and then stops right before 8 at 7, but then skips over the 4 and the 6 because it's using steps of 2. With the Hello World example, it was confusing, but this actually makes more sense. Yeah. 3, 5, 7. Okay. Neat. And I guess they were saying earlier that unlike in C, because I guess it doesn't do it in C, but the Python's print function has its own new line built in, which is why it always goes to the next line after you do a print thing. Just important to note. While loops repeat as long as certain Boolean conditions are met. A certain Boolean condition is met. Count equals 0. While count is less than 5, print count. count plus equals 1. Yeah, so there's another Python thing, and I think in other languages, if you say plus equals, it'll do the same thing as assigning the variable itself plus 1. It just adds 1. And this whole thing is basically exactly the same as a for loop. There's a for loop spelled out while it is this. Keep iterating through. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Break and continue. Break is used to exit a loop or a while loop, whereas continue is used to skip the current block. Break is used to exit a loop or a while loop, whereas continue is used to skip the current block and return to for or a while statement. A few examples. Okay. Yeah, I'll just try not to get hung up on explanations I don't understand and just focus on the examples. Count equals 0. While true, print count. Wait, while true? So while true, I think just means it just keeps going. Okay, while true, print count. Count plus 1. If count is greater than or equal to 5, break. So it'll just stop once it becomes equal to 5. Which is why it says right here, it just goes from 0 to 4. Prints out only odd numbers. So it keeps iterating through this while loop. So first it prints count, which is currently 0, adds 1. And then this part doesn't happen because this boolean is not true. So then it goes back up to here, prints count, which is now 1, adds 1 more. This is still not true, so it doesn't break because the break is in the indentation of this boolean. Yeah. I think. I hope that sounds right. Prints out only odd numbers for x in range 10. If x modulo 2, that's what I was saying earlier. If x modulo 2 equals 0, continue. Which checks if x is even. Then continue, and that says print x. So if this prints as false, then it won't do the continue, and therefore it won't print. And then it just ends at 10. So with 10, just nothing happens, because... Oh, wait, no, wait, 9... Yeah, okay, so range 10 would just go up to 9. Wait, so if x... Wait, then if this checks if it's even, wouldn't this print out only even numbers? And it would print out 0. 4x in range. So I guess this continue part skips the current block and returns to the for or while statement. Okay, so does that mean it skips? I'm assuming that means it skips print. So whenever this checks and finds out it's even, because if it prints out, if it's going to not print out 2 or 4 or 6, that means this checks if it's even, which means that this continue runs, which means that it doesn't do the print. Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, that's going to confuse me a little bit, but I'll figure that out. Can we use else clause for loops? Unlike languages like C, C++, we can use else for loops. So I guess you can't do that in the C languages. When the loop condition of for or while statement fails, then code part in else is executed. When the loop condition of for or while statement fails, then code part in else is executed. If a break statement is executed inside the for loop, then the else part is skipped. Note that the else part is executed even if there is a continue statement. Okay, these examples are probably going to help me a lot more. Alright, prints out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and prints out count value. Okay, counts equals 0. Count equals 0. While count is less than 5, print count, and then add 1. Else print count value reached. So it'll just say 5, right? Oh, okay, that's what that means. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then prints count value reach 5. Okay, prints out 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. So for I in range 1, 10, if I modulo 5 is equal to 0, break. This is not printed because for loop is terminated because of break, but not due to fail in condition. Wait, this is not printed because for loop is terminated because of break, but not due to fail in condition. This is, I don't know that this is the best example, but I'm assuming that this 1, 2, 3, 4 part. So for I in range 1, 10, I'm assuming that means from 1 to 10. If I %5, so does that mean modulo 5? Or just if it is 5? Break. So it doesn't print this part. This is not printed because for loop is terminated because of break. So this part just doesn't get printed because the break just makes the loop stop. So it keeps going down here, print I, print I, print I, print I. And then once it gets to whatever I %5 equals 0 means, I mean, I guess that means I divided by 5 has a remainder of 0. So once the I reaches 5, because 5 divided by 5 does not have a remainder of 0, or it does have a remainder of 0, then it just breaks the whole loop and everything stops. So this else part just never happens. I hope I'm right about that, because I have no way of knowing. Loop through and print out all even numbers from the number list in the same order they are received. Don't print any numbers that come after 237 in the sequence. What the heck? What the frig? Alright, so numbers. There's a bracket here and a bracket up here, so I guess this all comes out as a list. I don't know why it's doing this indentation thing, though. Loop through and print out all even numbers from the numbers list in the same order they are received. Don't print any numbers that come after 237. For number in numbers. Oh, gee. Alright. This one's not going to be difficult, but it's going to be a little more tedious than the rest. Okay. Loop through and print out all even numbers. For number in numbers. Okay, if number modulo 2 equals 0 colon. Okay, wait, loop through and print out all even numbers from the numbers list in the same order they are received. Don't print any numbers that come after 237 in the sequence. Oh, okay. Well, then I'll say print. Oh, wait. Would I say print number in parentheses? But I'll. Oh, whoops. Okay. So if number modulo 2 equals 0, that means if it's even. And number. Don't print any numbers that come after 237. Wait, does that mean numbers, they have to be smaller than 237? Or is it if... Where's 237? I mean, I think I'm not supposed to be looking for it. I'm supposed to be coming up with a program that stops, but... Okay, well, first I'll just test, because they might be talking about numbers bigger than 237. No, it says come after 237 in the sequence. Okay, so that we're not going to do that. Okay, so if the number is even, then print it. But then I actually don't know what to do from there. How would I make it so... I'm assuming I have to use break. If a break statement. So if number... Would that be if number is 237 break? Maybe I should, well, okay, hold on. What would I do then? So how does break work? So if break. I mean, would it be that simple? Is that what this I thing means? If I %5 equals 0? No, wait, because that's the modulo thing. Well, how do I break it? If count. Alright, let's just say... Maybe I can just put it here. If number equals 237 and break. Okay, that looks right, right? For number in numbers, if number is 237. Let's say is. I may as well. If number is 237, break. If number is even, print number. Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome possum. That's alright. We're rolling along. Alright then. What are we on now? I might actually start heading off to bed soon. I think I probably shouldn't. What time is it? 3:26 a.m. Yeah. Probably time to go to bed. Alright, yeah, this looks like something I'll tackle tomorrow. I mean, this isn't all that difficult, but... yeah, I think this was a good... So it's a good first stream and stuff. Everything went well, I hope. I mean, I'll figure that out later. Gotta go check on everything, and I guess I can watch all this back and see if I'm too quiet or if I need to mess around with any settings, but... you know, I think things went well for a first little stream here, first video. Honestly, this has been pretty cool. It's pretty cool being able to, like, I don't know, even if I'm currently talking to no one, it helps me to just talk through these things. It's kind of helping me understand them. And plus, this whole thing kind of gives me like a sense of accountability. I'm going to try to come back and practice coding ideally on a daily basis. So, you know, maybe this will help me like make a schedule for myself and keep me consistent. And also, now that I've sort of put it out there, it'll incentivize me to keep going with this whole coding thing until I actually learn it. Every other time I've tried to do any kind of programming tutorial, I just eventually gave up or got bored or got frustrated and stopped. And, you know, as long as I'm doing all this on the internet, it'll kind of force me to see it through to the end in a certain sense. It'll pressure me to actually get good at this so that, you know, embarrassing myself becomes worth it in the end. Although I'm not that embarrassed, I think it is pretty fun. Hopefully it keeps on being fun and I can keep coming back and doing this and figuring out all the other stressful streaming stuff. Yeah, so I'll just be going now. I'll be hitting the old dusty trail, and I will see all of you tomorrow, or whenever I come back to this. Hopefully it's tomorrow. That's the plan anyhow. Alrighty, let's just end stream. Good night, good morning, goodbye.